now into the auxiliary gate.
If you want hope, our only hope is as if Caitlin Freeze, baby boy Asher, marries one of Gary Parmesan's kids and they make a super racing executive. That's the only way we get out of this mess.
You're listening to the Auxiliary Gate Podcast, Kentucky's weekly horse racing discussion. And now, here are your hosts, Alan Schneider, Geoff Riggs, and me, CC Broaddus. All right, welcome to episode number 244 of the Auxiliary Gate Podcast. I'm CC Broaddus, but that doesn't matter right now. We've got good news for you. Last week, we reported on this very show that Alan Schneider had vanished because he had taken too much Ozempic. That is, in fact, not true. The true story was he accidentally misplaced himself while moving to his new house. Alan, welcome back. I'm glad you found yourself.
Oh, there's been a lot of misplaced stuff in this moving adventure we've had. Most of it money, but no, we're good to go. I appreciate it. So yeah, I'm back in the fold at least for this week.
How was your Memorial Day weekend?
Wonderful. Well, again, when you're in the process of moving, everything is about packing and taping and sorting and yada yada and managing money and blah blah blah. So did all of that and played a little Churchill myself too. So everything was great.
Yeah, I think you had a pretty good day on, was it Sunday?
Saturday and Sunday were pretty good.
Saturday and Sunday both, yeah.
Sunday was really good. So, but you have those days that are really good, and then you just, like I say all the time, it's humbling. The next day can be very humbling. So just appreciate it when it happens, and go from there.
Speaking of humbling, Geoff Riggs is not with us. He did not say where he was going to be tonight. My theory is that I think he's on a first date.
Nice. Get it.
That's just, I don't know that. I don't know that.
Okay.
I just, my gut tells me this. My question to you, what's a first date with Geoff Riggs like?
Oh my God.
Is he like a Ruth Chris? Hey, let's lay it out. Let's show you, I've got some class. Like a Brasserie Provence. You know where that is?
Yeah.
I've never been there. It's like a French place, right?
Steak and bourbon type guy. Just bought a gift card for somebody for steak and bourbon. Maybe a steak and bourbon.
Yeah.
Pulls a bottle of wine out of the beard, right?
Yeah.
Red on the left side, white on the right side, or whatever, something like that. I would hope so.
Is it formal? Like a formal guy, or is he like an Arby's? Let's just go to Arby's and I'll wear a tuxedo T-shirt and.
I could see that. He does have the polo shirt, cargo short thing rocking, but don't we all? I mean, I do, right? So I just hope it's with a girl. I'm sure either way is fine. He's still my buddy, but
well, like a first date for me, it was always for me. It was never for her.
Oh, that's nice.
This was my chance to go out to a decent restaurant, so it was always about me, my choice.
Wow.
But anyway.
Okay. Well, yeah. I did that with my wife when we got married. Our first date was REO Speedwagon on New Year's Eve with Tesla. So, showed her a good time, but it worked out because we've been married almost 30 years. But I guess that was kind of for me as well, too.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Good luck, Geoff, if you're really on a first date. I don't know. I just made that up completely, but I thought we could get 5 good minutes out of it. We only got two and a half.
I hope he hits the single. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, he could be the type just screw dinner. We're just going to go straight to business time. But
as ironic you said screw dinner, but I was thinking maybe afterwards. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know enough about him to make that call though. I don't know what he's like on his off time.
We'll have to ask all those Saint X groupies he used to hang out with.
I guess so. Yeah. Anyway, before we move on to our special guest, I had a conversation with a friend of mine about, well, first of all, you know what a gold digger is, right?
Yes, I'm not going to say the other half of the line from the Kanye song, but yes, I know what a gold digger is.
All right, what is a gold digger?
A gold digger is, well, a woman, or I guess it could be a man as well too, right? And fair game here. A gold digger who's gets their eye on wealthy older gentleman or a debutante, and
Okay.
is only in it for the money to get to rid them of their money. It happens to me all the time with the ladies. I can't, you know what I mean? It's just one of those
Right.
things.
I understand. But all right, so my friend Jennifer, uh, investment representative to the Stars,
Oh,
one of the
nice.
best, one of the best in Bardstown, Kentucky. She, we have these stupid conversations from time to time, and it popped up about a trophy wife. What is a trophy wife?
Hmm.
And my definition of a trophy wife for all these years was arm candy, like some rich guy that's just, he's done well in life and he wants to sport his beautiful wife
The
to
final piece of the puzzle. Yes, exactly.
to the public. Look what I've accomplished. Look at me. I know you're jealous of me. Look what I have. I have a trophy wife. Her definition was different though. I'm gonna pose it to you. What is a trophy wife? Her definition was completely opposite of what I thought it was.
No, a trophy wife is a guy that's made it successful. The traditional thing you think of as a successful white businessman who's got several mil in the bank, and he's about showing off his boats and his cars and his beach houses and people. So the latest thing would show off is a piece of arm candy, a younger blonde, perhaps a quite busty young lady to put on his arm, whatever. While he gets happy, he gets what he wants, and she gets to bang her fitness instructor too, right? So it's a symbiotic relationship.
Okay, so her definition is completely opposite. Her definition of a trophy wife is a basically what we would call a perfect wife, a woman that has her life together, makes sure that the husband is, is on the straight and narrow path, raises the kids, make sure the kids are in a good school, make sure that they're well educated, well represented, or not well mannered. Basically, does everything right. Nothing to do with what I and you and I thought would be the
No,
definition of a trophy wife. I
I
thought a
got a
trophy.
trophy wife then, because I mean my wife does
Well,
all that, but
that's what her definition of a trophy wife was, and and
no,
I
no.
thought,
It's
okay,
a great
so
wife. It's a great wife. I mean, but it's not a trophy wife. No.
yeah, yeah, I would call that the perfect wife, but
Yeah, I mean, the trophy wife's going to have the breast implants and gets like 4 pedicures a week, right? And drives the rolls, this and that.
right,
So,
that's what
yeah,
I thought. That's what I
yeah.
thought. But wouldn't that be more of a gold digger
Not
too?
necessarily the trophy. The trophy wife knows she's a trophy wife, and she's fine with that. However, she's the trophy. I mean, she is the trophy, the cherry on top of a successful businessman. To say, I got this, I got this. Oh, and I got this too. That's the trophy. Correct?
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
We'll pose it to the public.
Okay.
If you have a comment either way, if you know what the definition of a trophy wife is, post it in the comments or whatnot, or discuss amongst yourself. It's also ironic that my friend Jennifer, her uncle, is noted Churchill Downs or noted local Kentucky horseman Troy Newton.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, uh,
He's
yeah.
made me some money, so I appreciate that. So
Well,
maybe I got to agree with her since obviously smart people in the bloodlines there.
I'd like to reach out and get him on the show at some point, but I don't know if it's going to pan out. But anyway, Jennifer, if you're listening, I know I'm going to make you listen to this. Thank you for listening. And I'll see you soon because I'm going to need some money. Anyway, uh, all right. That's enough for now. We'll talk a little bit about Churchill Downs mega card on Saturday. Big to do. Stephen Foster preview Saturday. Lots of it's one of those days that usually you have a bunch of big races all in one card. You'll get one or two standouts per race, and then the payoffs are really low and depressed. I'm not necessarily certain that's the way it's going to be this time. You got some wide open races, so some interesting races. There's a chance it could break chalky,
Yeah,
but
but if the weather is again with any of these cards, I never like saying that they're great cards until the day of because weather and gate scratches are such a big deal anymore and stuff. But as of right now, you're right. It does look like a tremendous card from what I've seen.
yeah, it looks like about an average. Just rolling through here, looks like an average of about eight to nine starters per stakes race.
But there's some depth there. There's some depth. It's not just from
Yeah.
what I've seen, it's not just two horses and a bunch of nothing. There's some where the sixth choice can win in the fifth choice, and that's what it's all about right there. That's how you string together nice paying tickets.
All right, that's enough for now. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Now it's time to learn about the clocker life right after this when we return. Okay, we are back and we have our special guest this week. If you're interested in one of the more, I would call it an unsung hero in the
Hmm.
game, the clockers in the morning. I'm fascinated to talk to this gentleman because I understand what they do, but I don't quite understand how it works. So we've got one of the clockers at Churchill Downs, Mr. Adam Wallace, has joined us, and he's going to tell us all about the clockers game, and the clocker life. And Adam, welcome to the show, and we are glad you are here.
Awesome, guys. Hey, thanks. It's awesome to be here. Listen to y'all almost every podcast y'all have done, so it's an honor to be here to talk to you guys.
Wow.
Well, we appreciate that, Adam. Let's first of all talk about how in the world you got into this because did you have any connections at all to the game, to the thoroughbred game?
Kind of, sort of. I mean, it all started. I was a kid. My dad and his uncle, they were huge into horse racing, so they took me and my cousin. I'll name drop Brandon Stobble. To the track, almost daily after work, whether it was for the whole day or whether it was the last couple races. So I pretty much grew up at Churchill Downs around the track as a kid. So I've always been fond of the game. But as far as having any connections, that didn't really start until my cousin and a couple of people started a syndicate, I guess, Brilliant Racing. And my family bought into some horses. So it got me a little more access to the backside. And I started to just being a fan of the sport. Every chance I had, I would be at the track on the backside, and I met some really good people on the backside. One of them being a trainer, Michelle Lovell, one of my
Oh,
favorite people on the backside. And she trained a couple of our horses that my family owned parts of. And, she was always very welcoming. I was in her barn every weekend, hanging out, seeing the horses, feeding them peppermints. One day I was a operations manager at a chemical plant in South Louisville. And I was sitting in my office one day looking at all the horse racing memorabilia on my wall. And I texted Michelle and I was like, I need a job. And she responded back with, you got a job. And I said, well, I want one that I really enjoy. And I don't know, 2 or 3 days later, I got a message from a clocker at Churchill Downs. His name was John Nichols. And he sent me a message asking if I was really interested. And one thing led to another. And here we are. And I guess year number 4 of clocking at Churchill.
Wow.
no, Michelle Lovell. I don't know that name very well. Do you, Alan?
I've heard of her. I've heard her in passing or whatever, but yeah, I know. I hear she's a decent person.
Decent. Yeah, absolutely wonderful human being.
Preach.
Absolutely wonderful human being. One of my favorite people at the racetrack on the backside. She's absolutely amazing. One of the best. I mean, she does everything for the right reasons. There's nothing, not a bad thing I could say about that.
Before CC goes on, it's reassuring CC that somebody else that we're not just blowing smoke. It's when we talk about Michelle, it's the truth, right? I mean, this is not just me or you or Adam saying it. Everybody knows that, so it's good to have some
Absolutely.
backup there, right, CC?
I think a lot of people are sick of that, though. They're sick of hearing about this.
Fuck
We drone on and on, but I mean, it really is true. Michelle is an official member of the Mount Rushmore of the Auxiliary Gate podcast. So, right,
Hmm.
right.
Yep.
She
Absolutely.
she may be George Washington.
Yeah, very so.
Anyway, let's move on to. So you started this clocking thing. Now, like, was there a big learning curve to this? Is this something you just you show up. I mean, is there a tutorial that you gotta? I have no idea. Like, I can't
Uh,
imagine what your first day's like.
well, yeah. So I show up on day one. John picks me up in the parking lot. We drive into Churchill Downs. We get upstairs. We go up to the fourth floor and clock on the balcony of the stakes room so you can see the whole track and everything. And the lights come on. And I'm like a little fanboy standing there when the lights come on. I mean, it's surreal that's what's going on. But yeah, definitely a learning curve. Obviously, being a fan of the sport, watching the sport, the one of the biggest things is you got to know where your poles are, your furlong poles, where your half-mile pole is, your 5 furlong, 3 furlong, because those are your typical work distances, and that's where your horses are going to start from. So that's the first thing is learning your poles. And then I guess the biggest thing after that is trying to start learning how to identify who's going to be your working horses on the track and who's not working. Because you'll have all kinds of horses doing the different things, the gallops, the walks, the paddock schooling, and then you have horses that are working, and they're all on the track going both directions all morning long. And so you have to start distinguishing who's working and who's not working. Um, and so yeah, there's a pretty big learning curve. So at first, basically, I was just kind of there tagging along, watching what the other guys up there are doing, which I have three of the best coworkers that you can have. Very, very good people. And it took a couple of weeks or so before you get into the flow of it, but then that's what it is. It's you just get into the flow of the morning. You got gap attendants that work the gaps in the back, and they will radio up as horses come on. Joe Sharp's got a set going a half mile, so now you know that there is a set of horses with Joe Sharp's saddle towel that are going a half a mile. And you just you get eyes on them, you watch what they're doing, and then as they make their way to the half-mile pole, and then you time them from there to the finish, or however far they're going. And once you do it for so long with the same people, you get into a routine, and you learn how each other works. And we got a head clocker, I would call him, and John Nichols. He's, in my opinion, the best handicapper in the world. Very smart, dedicated his life to this. He's done this job for many years, and he's able to pick out your workers and call them out and point them out on the track, and the rest of us just pick them up and time them as they as they go.
Okay. Now, John's one clockers.
Yep.
Uh,
And
Don
then
Winfrey is a clocker,
yep,
right?
he's a retired trainer, and then we have Pete Vestal, which is
Pete Vestal. That's
yep,
right. I
that's
forgot about that. Yeah. So
another retired trainer. Those are my
Win,
three
Win,
coworkers.
Winfrey's been around forever. I mean, he's been around forever, I believe.
Had
I
a
mean,
lot of good horses back in the day. A lot of good horses. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ten
yeah.
Pins and
Mhm.
was
Pete
one.
Pete Vestal trained a horse named Ide, who was a really nice 2-year-old back. This
Mhm.
is back in the '90s, and he had some other horses I can't remember, but I mean,
Yeah, he
he
trained for
was a
Dogwood Stable, didn't he? Did he train for Dogwood? Am I thinking of somebody else?
maybe.
He had some good turf horses, I remember.
I can't remember, but yeah, he had a bunch of good horses. I mean, Ide was on the Derby Trail, I know, and I think he went on to be a really good sire too. So yeah, that's I mean, you got a ton of experience up there in the
Oh
clockers.
yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, it's amazing the years and that's up there sitting next to me. I mean, I pale in comparison to. I mean, as a fan of the sport, to have that group of guys to work with every single day of the year is, I mean, that's amazing. The stories I've heard, just Pete and I call him Breeze, but Pete and Don Winfrey, they're like my grandpa. It's
all
like
right.
sitting up there and hanging out with my grandpas and doing something that we all love and clocking horses in the morning. I mean, it's the greatest job in my opinion that you can have.
Now John's relatively young to that crew, but
Yeah, he's not but a couple years older than me. But you know, he's been clocking for 20 plus years, and
yeah, he if he dedicated his life to anything else, he'd be just as successful in that. I
oh
would
yeah,
think.
he
And
he's a hell of a dude as well. I mean, hell of a human as well. I have nothing but good things to say about him. He's been one of my best friends for the last 4 years since I've known him. I mean, he's taught me. I thought I knew horse racing. I thought I knew how to bet horses. I thought I knew what I was talking about, and that man humbled me in a millisecond, with the knowledge and the dedication and just the attention to detail. And it's consistent. It's every single day. There's not a day off. I mean, it's consistent and it shows. I mean, he won the handicapping tournament last year for the NHC or whatever the title of that tournament is. He won, but you just you don't do that without that's talent. I don't know. I have nothing but good things to say about
yeah,
him as well, and just the amount of stuff that he's taught me in the last 4 years is insane. Like it's crazy.
is Bob DeCincy still a gap attendant?
Yes, he is.
He is. All right, so I need to kick myself because I've got his phone number, and I spent with Jerry Romans. I spent about 20 minutes with him last year. I think it was last year, maybe 2 years ago now. And he told some of the best stories I've ever heard. And I for some stupid reason, I have not reached out to him to do one of these, and I need to do that. So, yeah, that's another guy back there. He's just got tons of stories. Just he's just a fountain of information. And yeah, so yeah, I need to. Alan, you make sure that I reach out to
I
him.
will do that. We like the old school guys because we're old school guys. Again, I talk about all the time. We remember Churchill in the cobblestone days. So yeah, we like the old
Oh
school
yeah.
guys.
Anyway, I'll just tell the story. It was about Angel Montano, who was a longtime trainer here, and he had just gotten to Louisville, wherever he was from out of the country. I can't remember if he was from Mexico, maybe, or Puerto Rico, or something like that. And he was training at Miles Park, and he claimed a horse, maybe $3,000. This is in the 70s or 60s. Miles Park was the old racetrack in Louisville, out
Hmm.
there, on the east or the west side of town. On the west side of town, it's
Yeah.
I don't even know what that. I've been over there one time in the last 20 years, but he claimed this horse for $3,000. He led the horse back to the barn, and they started washing him down, and the horse changed colors.
Got a
And
chameleon.
the horse changed colors, and they found out that the original trainer had dyed the horse a different color, so he was running a ringer. And I can't remember the whole story, but the Montana wound up losing his money, and I think he lost the horse as well. So it was a messed up deal. But I think he was scared that he was going to get in trouble for claiming the ringer. But anyway, Montana went on to have a really really nice career locally here. So all right. So what time do you get to the track, Alan?
I get there between 4:45 and 5 in the morning. The track opens for training at 5:20. Sometimes they let them on early. Most of the time, it's right at 5:20.
And where are you all positioned?
We sit on the fourth floor. It's the stakes room. We sit outside on the balcony. It's right there at the finish line.
Okay. So all four of you are together.
Yep. We all have a table that we sit out there. We got a chair we sit at, and we all sit. Yeah, we all sit together.
And do trainers come up there too?
Yes,
Or
some of them do consistently, like Brad Cox. He is up there every single horse of his that trains. He is up there. He is timing it. He is videoing it. He is watching it. He's got his assistants with him. He's sometimes got owners. He is very attentive to his horses. And then one of my favorite young trainers is up there every single time one of his horses works as well, and that's Will Walden. I'm very impressed with his training style and what he's been able to accomplish in his short time so far. But he's up there every single time one of his horses works, and
Okay.
he's very attentive as well.
All right. This is a dumb question. Uh, Cox has a bunch of horses, and a bunch
Yes,
of horses work out on daily. I would expect.
yes,
Does, is I mean, it's a long way from the barn to the fourth floor.
Oh
Is
yeah.
it?
yes.
Is I mean, does he just stay up there for maybe a couple hours at a time?
No, no, it's a golf cart and one of the SUVs if they need both of them, and they come through the infield and
Really?
come to the infield, come to the elevators, ride it up, watch the horses that are working, and if they've got two sets that are coming out on the track that are not working, and he's back in the barn, seeing how they come back from the works. Uh,
So
yeah, they all do that. Every one of them that comes over, that comes up there where we're at. Now, some only come up to like the third floor, the second floor. But yeah, the ones that come up there with us, they watch them work. As soon as they're done working, they're back in the barns, seeing how they come back from the work, and you know, business as usual.
so they make several trips then per
Yes,
morning. Wow,
yes,
I didn't know
yeah.
that. Okay.
Yes. Now, if they've maybe got, back to back sets of horses working, meaning, this group coming out on the track has got workers and the next group coming out has workers, then they will stay there and let those two,
Hmm.
sets work, and then they'll go back. But no, if there's any kind of little gaps in between, they go back and attend to business back at the barns.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Now on big work days, I assume those probably are Fridays and Saturdays.
Yeah,
Uh,
Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, as long as the weather's nice.
so
Or
this would be the part that would kill me is when they come out there all at the same time, and
yeah,
you've got.
that's
I know they all can't go together, but they probably maybe
Well,
spaced out.
they try to go at the same time.
Oh wow! So that
Yeah,
that
they
would drive me insane. So I assume now, how do you know? Does somebody call out say I got the first pair, then I got the second pair, or how does that fly when
yes,
you go out there
yes.
together?
Well, once again, John Nichols is kind of like the point guard. He's the quarterback. He's the however you want to look at it. We all be quiet and we let him kind of run the show, and he'll call out like such and such is on its way, and he'll give it to me or to Breeze or to Pete, and then and he'll be like, I'll pick up the trailers or whatever. So um, that's kind of how it goes when it gets real busy. He'll kind of call out the plays, but no, you look up, and if you see a horse going to the half-mile pole, you call it out. I got the horse leaving the half, and you take it. I got the horse leaving the 5, and you take it. If you see it going, you just call it out and take it. But as right at the beginning, you try to divvy up the horses that are going right at the beginning. This person take those first 2 or 3, and the next person take the next 2 or 3. But then after that, it's if you see them going to the pole, call it out, and if you got room on a watch, pick it up.
All right,
So,
now how do you identify the horse? Does the gap attendant know the horse, or it?
okay, there's different ways. The gap attendants will get some of the names and tell you. They'll send up the names. Sometimes the trainers will text John an entire set list. So, like Brad Cox is very good at this. He will, in the morning, first thing, send John a text message with a picture of his set list that's going with the times, the rider that's riding the horse, etc. So, you know, you do it long enough, you know who the exercise riders are, you know who they work for, pretty much everything about what's going on the track in the morning. So, John, once again, he's able to identify the horses based on the markings.
Oh my gosh!
And on the fly. I mean, I'm telling you, the man he's very good at what he does. But yeah, he can do it on the fly as they're coming down the stretch. He'll look at them, and he'll pick the marking that he needs off of that horse, and he'll look it up on the database, and that's how he can distinguish the sets or the different horses on the track. And then some of them you see them enough, you can tell, like certain horses, like Further Ado is a Brad
Yeah.
Cox horse. Like I've seen him enough as a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old that if I see a horse that looks similar to Further Ado and it's wearing a Brad Cox saddle towel, it's Further Ado, you know. So you have horses like that as well, that you can just recognize, either because they're, you know, good horses, or maybe they're bad actors in the morning and you've seen them do goofy stuff so much that you know who they are. But yeah, most of the time, John is the one identifying the horses as well.
Are there any other private clockers at Churchill?
As far as
Like
like,
I know Bruno DeJulio, I think clocks horses, or used to at
uh,
Churchill.
I'm pretty sure he does the time, or he does the work videos now. He's hired a couple camera guys that film all
Right.
the works. You do have your trainers do send people over to clock their horses sometimes.
To clock their own horses.
Yeah, to clock their own, whether it's them, whether it's an assistant. Sometimes they come. I know Steve Asmussen has a lady that sits one floor below us that videos every one of his works for him. So you have different individuals that are over there doing their things like that. Yes.
Okay. Because I heard all the time back in the day that out in California, it was like my private clocker said this horse is on fire, and my private clocker said this, and my private clocker said that. I was curious if, I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know.
most horses that are out there that are working are being timed by somebody other than us.
I got you. Okay. Uh, what percentage? This is not a fair question, but is there a percentage of works that you miss just because it's just too much traffic in the morning?
Uh, ca- uh, I wouldn't say there's a percentage. Normally, we don't miss works except for the busy moments, like on Saturday mornings after the first break. There's just times that I mean, there's too many of them going at one time. Sometimes you get a piece of the work. And then most of the time, like I said, there's somebody clocking their horse. So you're able to get the times from those people.
Okay. And
So
then, I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. I'm sorry. I was just
No,
going to,
no, no.
for an example, if you missed a Brad Cox horse, he's, 20 feet from you, you can ask him, what'd you get? And, you can get a time from him.
Oh, that's good. That's the way it ought to be.
Hmm.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Okay. All right. I'm gonna turn it over to Alan. I've got more questions. But yeah, I've got like 1,000 more questions. But Alan, you take over.
Oh, certainly. We should mention too that everybody goes on and on about how the CAWs are ruining horse racing, but I think this CAW we got today is helping horse racing. It's one of the benefits. It's Clocker Adam Wallace. Anybody ever give you that moniker yet, CAW?
Now you are the first one to do that.
Well, there you go. Maybe it'll stick. Tell John and Breeze and Pete Vessel start referring to you as CAW. How's that? Maybe make it even a good connotation for once. How's that?
That I'm sure somebody's going to hear this, and
Yeah.
it's going to get said. So
So in the past performances, we see the raw times in
yep.
Brisnet and the racing form, but as we all know, and you're a lot sharper at this than we are, raw times are only a fraction of the story. In your time doing this so far, in the 4 years you've been doing this, what are some of the things you see in a horse that's working very well, or even not very well, that go beyond those raw times that we don't get to see in black and white in print?
Yeah, so this is one of the things that I've tried to explain to my dad, who's real big into horse racing, on time, on workout times, because he'll see a horse's workout time.
Exactly.
He'll see, oh, that horse went 46 and some change, and that's the winner right there. It's the fastest horse, and I'll tell him, but you got to look at the other tangibles that happened that morning as well. You know that 46 is a quick half mile time, but was that horse done at the wire? Was he
Right.
exhausted? The 46 doesn't show that. The 46 doesn't show, was he being held coming down the lane? Could he have, I mean, was the rider holding him, slowing him down, trying to hold him up? What could he have went even faster? That the 46 doesn't show that. And then my favorite thing in the morning that the final time doesn't show is the gallop out. And I've learned as a betting at a betting standpoint, the gallop out, in my opinion, is very important. Um, in analyzing, I guess, a work, and that's the final time doesn't show that. You physically have to see the gallop out. There's horses that might there's trainers that are not going to work 46s. You're never going to see a 46 from certain trainers in the game. They're just that's not their style. They're gonna work 48s, 49s. You might even see 50s, but
Hmm.
but their horses are going to gallop out that next furlong. They're going to go 12-3. The furlong after that, stretching out to say 6 furlongs, they're going to go 12-3 again, and then they're going to go maybe a 13-2, seventh furlong. The final time doesn't show that, but you see that, that horse has the stamina, has plenty left past the wire. Uh, that horse can run a 48 in a race, and you know that he's got plenty left to come catch a horse maybe that got out there and was running
Right.
a 45 or a 46. He's going to be able to have enough left to catch him down the stretch, and you can see that in the gallop out, and you can't see it in the final time. So there's some trainers that you're never going to see a 48 or 49 unless the horse is just slow, because they're going to go out there and they're going to fire them out there as fast as they can every single time. And then there's some trainers, like I said, that are very, you know, organized, very structured, and they're gonna work their horses at certain times, and they're gonna do different things with them, other than just send them out there full speed every morning.
Well, you actually leads me to my next question about trainer tendencies. One of the things I know that you personally would have had to have learned in this role is, and it goes beyond the raw times that we just mentioned, the trainer tendencies. Have you learned what trainers? I mean, I know you have that they will whip out that 46-2 4 furlong, and the other guys will be looking really great going 50-1. I think Steve Asmussen doesn't have the fastest works
No,
on a
yeah,
lot of his
he's
horses. That's his regiment. That's what he does. So you've picked up on all these guys' routines, right?
absolutely, and that's another, like, the routine goes, that's from the time they walk on the track to the time they leave the track.
Hmm.
Each trainer has a routine that goes back to an earlier question. Uh, how do you pick out some horses? Like, what certain trainers are going to do based on the routine. Like Brad Cox, once again, is going to bring his horses over. He's going to stand in front of you, like right below you, and he's going to wait. They're going to wait for Brad to motion them to go. So that's a tendency. But yeah, as they work, each trainer, they do different things. Like Romans, he's going to work his horses, like, if they're going to work a half mile, he'll start them at the 3 furlong pole and work them to the 7 furlong pole instead of the half-mile pole to the finish line.
Hmm.
Uh, Sometimes trainers will work their fives from the 4.5 to a half, to a 16th past the wire, is their 5 furlong work. Um, and I don't know the reasoning behind that. I like to think I'm smart and say it's trying to maybe train the horse mentally to maybe want to push at least the 16th past the wire. So it's, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a mental thing. As you're going down the stretch, your horse doesn't want to quit it.
I
It wants
know
to.
Ken McPeak likes to work. He likes to finish the work around the turn,
Yep.
and the reasoning is like you said, he wants the horse to run through the wire.
Yeah. And not, get the horse used to, continuing to run through that wire. So if it is a stretch battle, your horse is not trying to, I've worked this stretch 15 times, and all 15 times I'm being eased right here. Instead you're pushing through the wire. So I could see that.
It's one of the things that is a big thing for me personally, and should be a big thing for a lot of people, is gaps in work tabs. And so when you guys see a horse that's coming out and he's on the schedule and
Hmm.
he hasn't worked in 2 or 3 weeks, is that raise your eyebrows or whatever? Are you paying more attention, anything when you see a gap in a work tab?
I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it, just simply because there are so many things that could affect a work. A rainy day, uh, can affect whether a horse works or not. That,
Right.
a lot of rainy days, your trainers, a lot of them will not. They don't train. So if you have a week like we've had where you got 4 or 5 rainy days in a row, then everybody can't get pushed to Saturday because you just can't do. There's not enough workers back there for every horse to work. So you could have a missed work there. There could be an illness, there could be an injury, it could be a multitude of things, but I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it unless it's a huge, notable
Huge.
gap. Yeah, that just I haven't seen that name in, you know, 2 3 months, and now all of a sudden here it is again, and I'll maybe look it up and see if maybe it went to a different track or, uh, see what the reasoning behind it is.
Last question for me is, and this is me being somewhat novice
Mhm.
in my beliefs or how I view this. Has there been any technological advances? Are you guys simply sitting up there these days with a simple stopwatch
Yep.
and just simply writing the times down in a pencil with a pencil? Or is
Yes.
it any more sophisticated than that?
No, that's absolutely what it is. I got a steno pad, I've got a pen, I've got 2 stopwatches, one for each hand, and yeah, as they call the trainers up and how far they're going, I write real small, teeny tiny, and I just at the top of the page I write the name of the trainer and then just the number of how many furlongs they're going, and as I hear that time being called out, I just scratch that name off. But every one of my clock, I write every eighth of a mile fraction down, and I've got it for 4 years and a bunch of steno pads laying around my house.
So where does it go? Does it eventually go into a database somewhere? Does it go into the
So
computer
yeah,
view?
as they cross the finish line, whoever has that horse will yell out the name of the trainer and the final time, and we have a tab writer. Uh, Her name is Beth, and she enters it into the Equibase database as we call it out to her. So she'll write it down on her paper. If I have a Romans finish and it was a half mile, I'll say Romans 48-4, and she knows because the horse has already been identified by either the gap attendant sent the name up, or John identified the horse, or however, and she'll plug it into Equibase as the morning goes on, and that's how it gets in there.
Well, I don't know Beth, but I hope Beth gets paid very well. I'm sure she makes double time. She makes double time or triple time on Saturday because that has got to be
It's
a pain in the ass with you four guys yelling at her.
that's
This,
yes, absolutely. It takes some thick skin in there to deal with us. I'll tell you that, because it's on a crazy day. I mean, it's one after it's boom, 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 and she ain't just writing down the trainer's name and the time like I am. She's
yeah.
legitimately having to put that time with the right horse, and yeah, that's a job in itself there that I'd rather do what I do any day than sit
And
there and do that.
she's got to enter all that info in right and real time stuff too, right? Because
Oh yeah, I mean she puts it in. You got to put the distance, the track condition, just any kind of little emblems that need to go in there, and it's got to be correct, because if you put a wrong time, I mean that's a wrong time. So
yeah. Well, Beth, I hope you're listening to this because you've got these guys have my respect, but you really got my respect, Beth. So hats off to you, and I'll send it back to CC.
Did you say you have a stopwatch for each hand?
yes,
Wow.
yes, yeah.
What the hell? I can't imagine that. I told the story the other day. I was in Kroger and I had two items or one item in each hand, and I accidentally shoplifted one, and I got caught. And that was by accident. But I can't imagine clocking two horses with
Like a clocktopus. You're a clocktopus,
It's
Adam.
yeah, I think because I'm OCD that it really helps out that my brain thinks a certain way, because yeah, to have 2 watches and have sometimes multiple horses on each watch, and you got to keep track of not only in your watch, but you got to keep track of them in your head, like who's where on the watch.
Jeez.
And it's confusing, but it makes sense once you do it a few times. And on slow days, you find yourself practicing with a couple horses, and it makes faster days a little better if you can get multiple horses on one watch. Now I can get two horses on each watch. John can get three or four on each watch, and yeah, like it's nothing. So
Jeez, unbelievable. So do you work every day?
every day, Monday through Monday. I usually start April 1st and I work all the way through December 31st. Now we will take some days off occasionally, like when it rains. On a Monday or a Tuesday. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays are typically our slow days when it's beautiful outside. So if it's pouring down rain at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning on a Monday, a Tuesday, or a Wednesday, you're not going to have very many workers. So sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes if we haven't taken a day off in a while, one of us text the other person and, hey, we're going to stay home today. Take a walk day is what we call it. Uh,
You take a vacation maybe in the winter, January,
Yeah,
February.
and if you want to do anything out of town, yeah, it's the winter time.
Got
So yeah, it's one of them. It's the job I say you have to love it, or you're not. It's not for you. Like it's not a Monday through Friday, 5 day a week. It's every day. It's early in the morning. It's rain, snow, shine. But the sunrises are magnificent. The the job is amazing. The people I've met are amazing. Who I get to do it with is amazing. And I mean, every morning I get to get up and go to Churchill Downs and sit on the fourth floor and watch every single horse on the backside come out on the track and do something. Uh, I don't know what more a horse racing fan could ask for, and I get paid to do it. I get paid to
yeah.
do that. That's crazy, you know. So I always say when I retired, that's something that I would get up in the mornings and I would want to go to the track and hang out and be a part of that. And now I get to do it and
So
get paid. So
the training is over about 8, I think, every
no,
morning.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Ten
Okay.
o'clock. So from 5:20 to
Yeah.
10 is
I'm,
training. Sundays and Tuesdays they'll have turf training for select horses that they allow to come out on the turf. That happens Sunday and Tuesdays. They train from the gate 5 days a week, and then I got a couple off days where they don't do any gate training. But yeah, it's from 5:20 to 10 in the morning. They have two breaks where they come out and they maintenance the track. And yeah, every day unless it freezes, which it occasionally does in the month of December.
yeah. What do you do after the training is over? You just go home or you hang out?
On race days, if they have like the 12:45 post, a lot of times I hang out. I'll go on the backside, eat breakfast in the kitchen back there, Wagner's, or go get breakfast somewhere. But uh, I used to go go to Michelle's barn and hang out, but she's no longer on the backside.
Yeah.
So I don't do that anymore. But yeah, I hang out at some barns sometimes, or I'll go hang out with some people that I know that work on the front side or something like that. And then I usually stay for a few races, and then I'll go home because the alarm goes off at 3:45, and that's kind of early. But I will say I am a professional at going to sleep late and getting up at 3:45. I've learned how to do that in 4 years. So
Oh, good night. Okay.
yeah, it's
All right. I'll let you go on this. Belmont Stakes is next Saturday, not this Saturday, next Saturday. Have you happen to catch any workers? I know the Cox Horse Commandment is here. I don't know who else is here though. But have you
uh
been able to catch anybody that's gonna run next weekend that maybe we keep our eye on?
uh I would say I don't have any specific horse names in that aspect. I would say keep an eye on Walden's horses right now. They're training well. they're looking nice on the track in the mornings. I would keep an eye on anything he has entered coming up. But yeah, I haven't paid much attention to the Belmont weekend yet. I won't do that until probably midweek.
Okay. Yeah, Walden's had a big meet already. I think he's like 6 for 14
Yeah, he's
or
got
something
some good.
ridiculous.
His horses are in form, and the kid knows what he's doing, and he's another good human being. He's been through a rough patch in his life. He turned it around, and he's doing the damn thing right now. I got nothing but good things to say about him, and he's a great human as well. I see him and talk to him, like I said, every time a horse of his works, he's right there beside us, and he's very attention to detail. He's very intelligent. He knows what he's talking about, and I think he knows where to enter his horses and how to get them ready for those races. And he's going to be a household name in the next few years, for sure, in my opinion.
And no doubt about it. Somebody that should be a household name is Adam Wallace.
Hmm.
Adam, we appreciate your time. This has been fascinating. I hope that now that we've made contact, we can have you on as a repeating guest, and then you can give us a bunch of horses to bet because
Yeah,
Amen.
that's where
I
I'm
won't be
lacking.
as I won't be as nervous next time. So yeah, maybe it'd be a little better of a conversation. But it's been awesome. Hopefully, it turns out good for you guys. It's been great to be on to talk to you all. I hope I gave y'all a little bit of information that you didn't know.
All right.
Oh,
Yes, you have. Certainly. Certainly.
absolutely, absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Adam.
You're welcome.
All right. That's one of those jobs there, I think. It it sounds terrifying if you were just thrown into the fire. But if you could work your way into it, I think it would be all right.
Oh yeah, I
You
think it's
know,
like yeah,
I mean, you just have to get used to your surroundings, but still, even then, you'd have to love it because that's tough. That's tough work every day. That's
yeah,
you got hats off to those guys. Just
yeah. They do good work, and
yeah.
I'm sure
Well,
it's like anything. You got to learn how to do it and get in your routine and stuff. But it's a heck of a routine to get to.
yeah, it's a lifestyle. I mean,
Yeah.
the whole racetrack thing is a lifestyle. Just
Hmm.
being a trainer, a jockey, groom, whatever. It's a lifestyle. There's no. I mean, whatever you can fit in the afternoons. If you want to play golf or maybe watch a football game on Sunday afternoon, if there's no racing going on, that's where you can fit in. But anything, there's no clubbing. Ain't no clubbing. Ain't no going to 4th Street Live on a Saturday night. That shit's out the window.
Not with night racing.
Right. Right. Anyway. All right. Now, let's talk about this card a little bit on Saturday. Good card. Several stakes races here. Uh, I found a couple horses I'm interested in. I don't know what it looks like. The morning lines aren't all that impressive. No big bombs or anything. But you got the Audubon Stakes, mile and eighth on the grass, and this is for the 3-year-old. This is a 3-year-old Colts. Yeah, yeah, it is. Okay, so you've got Touch of Fire for Brad Cox, 2-1 favorite. Zeppelin, a horse I'm interested in at 7-2. You get Flavian Pratt there. You stop me if you find a horse that you're interested in. You got the Shawnee, maybe the smallest field at 7 horses, race number 6. Again, we're going a mile and a 16th on the dirt. You get Immersive, who won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies at 7-2, and 2 spots to your inside. You have Splendora, another Breeders' Cup winner for Bob Baffert at 6-5. So a good race there, right there, and smack in the middle of the card.
I've been on a kick for the last several years about betting against almost all of Bob Baffert's horses. I mean that the one did win the other day, Usha,
Okay.
but I just believe if you look up the ROI, and I'm not a formulator guy, but I think if you look up Bob Baffert's stats the last 3 years, outside of a couple of really big races on the West Coast, when he travels to the East Coast, underbet, he gets bet way heavy and underperforms. Not all the time. Crew Velocity is a legit racehorse, but in general. So if you took on Splendor there, I wouldn't blame you.
Race number 7, Mint Julep Stakes on the grass, mile 16 for the fillies and mares. Pinup Betty, probably a horse I'm interested in backing out of the tough races over Derby week. 7-2 morning line. Medoro, another nice mare for Peter Urton, 5-2, a stakes winner at Fairgrounds over the winter. Proctor Street in there as well. Brendan Walsh, 3-1. Tyler Gaffleone rides. Same old hard hitters in here. You got Charlene's Dream on the rail for Ed Moser Jr., a stakes winner last year. So good race there.
Don't be surprised if Charlene's Dream wires them out of that with the sprint, Florent Giroux aboard, not a ton of speed in the race. The idea is to send it. We'll see if it's good enough. If they, I don't be think, I would definitely think they're sending with this one and may get the lead all by herself. That said, you got two horses on the outside that I think are highly underrated. In the Stars by Rusty Arnold, who's got a bright future, and Sweet Treasure is in that race, who I was never really that high on, but I'm impressed by this horse who used to be a confirmed front runner and has completely changed her style at 4, where now she's a dead closer. I always think that's a sign of real talent when you can go from one extreme pace wise to the other extreme. So those prices in there actually do intrigue me.
That's our friend Dan Glick, Full
Yeah,
of
it's
Runs
Dan Glick's
Racing.
horse.
They have had a hellacious spring.
Oh, they're good. Yeah,
Winning,
good people.
well, they won a couple races at Keeneland, won a stake, and I know they won a race recently here on the dirt. I can't remember the horse's name, but yes it is one.
Hmm.
Having a good run of it. Sweet Treasure, one of those nice fillies from that barn. The Aristides, a 7 horse field. Get Baffert with Cornucopian and roll on Big Joe for Bob Hess, 9-5 morning line. Durante, believe, won this race last year for Jacobson. And Mataket Road, 9-2 off an allowance win not too long ago. Not all that impressive either. There's one of the Baffert horses you might fade. So Rad Ortiz rides that one. Cornucopian's ridden by Flavian Pratt.
Uh,
Race. Go
Tough
ahead.
race. It's nice. It's a good little race. I'm not. Again, I always just I'm just amazed at some of these morning lines at Churchill. I'm not sure if the morning lines in that race is on point, but I don't have an opinion. But I usually get opinions about the morning lines there. So just just something I like to bring up once in a while.
Yeah, that's a good point. Race 9 is the regret. Couple fillies in here. First of all, Tam Tam, morning line favorite on the far outside for Phil Bauer, narrowly defeated in the Edgewood by Imagination the Lady. A couple fillies in there. Indigo Woods for Brendan Walsh, lightly raced at 4-1 on the rail with Tyler Gaffleone. Big rider upgrade. Nothing wrong with Axel Concepcion, but Tyler's probably one of the best. And Dandona, the 6, had a nightmare wide parking lot style trip in that Edgewood Stakes. Gets a Rad Ortiz this time. I would guess they're not going to be in the parking lot. I mean, this filly was 4 to 5 wide on both turns, and your filly Tam Tam, I think, maybe got a rail run.
Hmm.
So what is that? I mean, that's 3 or 4 lengths lost right there, and she didn't get beat by that much. So yeah, Dandona is interesting to me.
Dan Dona's a legit racehorse. That horse, and again, you're right about the last trip. Was wide, but her two previous races, she has had an insane closing kick, and I think it's a horse with a bright future. Interesting that Flavian Pratt goes to what looks to appear the overmatched trust account. But maybe the connections just went with Irad Ortiz instead because Flavian Pratt's won on Dandona, but I don't know if Dandona wins on Saturday. But it's a horse that I'm been very high on all year long.
Race 10, the Blame Stakes, field of 8. It surprised me that Vibe is the 9-5 favorite, especially with Hit Show in there.
Um,
You think that's a miss?
You want to go back to my point two races ago? Vibe's a very nice racehorse. 3 in a row, by all means, can win this race. But Hit Show won the Dubai World Cup. Has won almost $10 million. Multiple graded stakes winner, and Hit Show's the second choice to a horse that just cleared allowance conditions. I mean, come on. I mean,
Right.
yeah, Vibe may win the race, and maybe Vibe is favorite. I'm not saying that, but I'd say Hit Show's resume uh, would probably make it the favorite at post time. We'll see. But anyway,
Yep, I agree. Hall of Fame in there. Racing now for Claiborne Farm. Looks like they're trying to make a stallion out of this horse. It appears. Capital Idea is a horse I'm interested in a little bit. Maybe rounding into some type of form. So Houday ran well in an allowance race after getting kind of shut off at the start. Horse will be closing late. So
But doesn't Hit Show? I mean, Hit Show's running lines kind of tower over the running. I mean, the company lines of all these other horses, not except maybe Rattle and Roll. Not to say that Hit Show's going to win because people always have a tendency to knock Hit Show, but I see 5-2 there. I'm like, okay. It's like, all right, the horse just ran against Forever Young, but so it's
right,
interesting. And
right,
Vibe just ran against Bullard, so
right, right. And finally, race 11, the Arlington Stakes. Brilliant Birdie on the far outside 9-2. Laganos, probably a deserving favorite 5-2. I think that one's right.
yeah, yeah.
Brilliant Birdie is a horse I'm interested in a
Same
lot,
here. Same
but
here.
I don't like that draw. I don't like being out in the 10 hole. Maybe we need some scratches, maybe to save ground that first turn. But I think,
Well, if you're wanting scratches these days, you're probably going to get it, right?
yeah, no doubt about that. But it's a really good field. Anglophiles in there, Giacoso, Mercante for Brian Nippenberg, Quattrocento, probably your speed
Yeah.
early on. Coal Battle's in there. That's kind of odd to see Coal Battle, Kentucky Derby starter from last year. So
Ran well in the return this year, but one thing about that race, and again, I'm with you. I'm kind of leaning Brilliant Birdie, even though Laganos has been just on point all year long. Was very fortunate to get up to win last time, but getting back to Quattrocentro, the last race Quattrocentro had to had a battle early with the Mark Casse horse that always stops. It was a huge, lot of speed in the race, even though it doesn't really like the fractions were that fast. So in this race, Quattro Central might be lone speed, and Leproux does a really good job rating a horse in front. So Quattro Central is interesting if the price were a little bit higher.
you're talking about Mibago.
Me Boggle, yes, who always gets the lead, and I think Leproux let him have the lead initially, then went right after him and ran very well. Ran very well. So Quattro Central is dangerous in this spot because I think the pace scenario is a little bit lighter. But Brilliant Birdie has. I think people kind of fall asleep on Brilliant Birdie after 4 races are over. She hasn't won, but he hasn't won. But looks well spotted in here.
All right, that's it. Let's put this one on ice. Thanks to our special guest Adam Wallace, and of course on behalf of Jeff Riggs, he's probably getting lucky right about now.
Hell yeah, Riggs.
Alan Schneider and me. Everybody have a good night. We'll see you soon. Gambling Money ain't got no home. See ya.